All right, welcome to another Art Talk. So today I wanted to talk about meeting deadlines and the importance of meeting those deadlines. So there's a couple of different things that I want to mention. When you're working in the studio, I'm going to start off with the testing phase of meeting deadlines. I have seen people when they were offered a test to work in the industry, part of the test is seeing if you can meet those deadlines. So the last thing that you ever want to do is if someone says, here's a test, we'd love to see what you do in the next couple of days, and you'll call them or email them and say, can I have a time extension? That's probably going to be the death of your job, and you're probably not going to get it because this is important. This industry is all about meeting those deadlines. I will say once you get a job in the studios, every project you're going to work on is going to offer a different set of deadlines. I've worked on projects where I had 1 week to design a show. I had a project where times where you got 2 weeks or 3 weeks to design a show. Sometimes you finish your work a lot earlier. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. You're working a little bit harder. But if you're going to be working hard and you find that you're working so much and you have this deadline and you can't get it done, the last thing you ever want to do, because it will destroy this industry as a whole, and it happens and it keeps wages down and low, is when a lot of people are getting in the studios, they're a little bit slower, they got the deadlines and they're working a bunch of overtime and not charging for their overtime. That's detrimental. You want to make sure if you're in that case, you want to have that relationship with your line producer where you can go to them and say, listen, it's so much work. I'm having a real hard time. Is there a way to charge overtime for this? And just have that conversation, because most production people and line producers want a healthy relationship with their team. If there's a healthy relationship with their team, it benefits the whole. So it's important. But I can tell you, if you're one of those artists who are doing overtime and working, you got no time for your family, you're just getting burnt out and you're not even getting paid for it, you're just lowering your wage and you're going to be as a whole lowering the wage for the industry, because the industry, then these people don't know what's going on. If you're not speaking up, they don't know that they're putting too much work on you and they go, oh, it's just getting done. And meanwhile, everyone's busting their ass trying to get it done. So be very careful with that, and also be careful if you're a younger artist moving into this field doing that. It's a game of chess, really. You got to think about the future. You got to think about your future move. You're going to be in that place one time where you're going to be a homeowner. You're going to have a family potentially. You're going to be in a position where you can't be working that many hours, and you need to be with who you need to be with, and you need to be making a decent living wage. And if you're doing this free work all the time because you're not meeting the deadlines, that's going to be a real problem. So I just want you to think about that. So that sort of covers a little bit on the animation front, working in the studios. Again, just meeting those deadlines, talking with your line producer if it's getting to be a little too much, talking to other of your mates that are there and just having the discussion with them. And maybe as a collective whole, you can go in and have that talk with the line producer that this is getting so hard and you're working extra hours and you're not getting paid for it, and let that be known, because it's vital importance to do that. The next thing on the freelance front, when you're working freelance, again, it's always important to meet those deadlines. Some deadlines are going to be a lot harsher than others. You may be working in the illustration field or doing magazine or newspaper spots or anything like that, where news shows up on Wednesday and now they need something done by Friday. That's where you're going to be burning the midnight oil and working to get these done. Again, depending on your speed and working, just make sure that you feel that you're charging enough for whatever that job is, and know, okay, this is going to take me a lot of hours to do this, and that you're charging accordingly, knowing that you have to meet this deadline. And sometimes what happens a lot in the illustration field, if it's a rush job and they need this, we need this by tomorrow, well, then you can charge more for that. That's a very important thing, that, okay, I understand I'm going to need to charge you more because I'm going to have to work more hours in order to get this done to meet your needs. Usually you're not going to find anyone having trouble with that. So that's a factor that's going to play into that freelance aspect, and just do not miss those deadlines, especially on a freelance job, because you're not going to get a phone call back from that art director. I guarantee you. It's vital that you're just constantly meeting those deadlines every time you're just given a project and making that client happy. You can also, what you'll realize is if you're working on a job, you've been asked, they've emailed you and said, we'd love you to do this particular job, and they say, we'd love to have it by this Friday. You can at that point email them and say, thank you so much for the opportunity. I would love to do this job. Unfortunately, the soonest I could get it to you would be by Saturday or by Monday. Will that be a problem? And oftentimes you realize they'll say, actually, that's fine, no problem. Just the sooner the better, let us know. And that's why you got to be able to communicate. This is what's going to get you just build up those relationships by having a communication between the person that you're working with. And also another thing where you can shine and be a hero in these positions, if they say, can we get it to you by, we need this by next, say it's Friday, we need it by next Wednesday, sort of thing. And you can say, I'll do my best to get it to you by Wednesday, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden you come through on Tuesday and you go, listen, I know this was urgent for you guys, so I did my best to get this to you earlier. They love that. Clients love when they're getting the work done earlier. Of course, you want to make sure that you're still giving it your best, that you're not just cramming it out and just to meet that deadline or get it to them early. You want to give them a good job so that at the end they say, listen, thank you so much. It was a pleasure working with you. That's the best compliment you can ever hear from a client, or when they say it was a pleasure working with you. That's what you want to hear. That's your main goal. And that's why you always want to make sure that you're the artist that's meeting those deadlines. If you feel like you're very slow as an artist, that's something that you need to practice and get better on. So that's going and doing quick observation sketches where people are moving and you're capturing it. That means going to figure drawing and doing quick gesture poses. That's going to help you build up your speed. And doing certain things to help you, for instance, like the draw jam, like we're going to have today, is where we're practicing and working on our speed and working through the videos on speed. This is what's going to give you that sort of confidence, because that's what it comes down to, is building the confidence within yourself in order to make sure that you get your work done on time, make sure that it's effective, make sure that it's well done. And because we really always just want to make the client happy. That's what we want to do. The client's happiness is key to us continuing our growth and building up relationships, and that lends to recommendations, which leads to more jobs, and that's what we're aiming for. All right, this was a short one today. Thanks for watching. Keep watching those videos, keep posting in the community, and I look forward to seeing you guys' artwork, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Take care.